So I used to do YouTube full-time, and now I do Uber on the side, so I drive people through Uber as a YouTube taxi. So, one of the times that I did that, I picked someone up just happening to be at Disneyland, and Disneyland is a place where there's a ton of people, and it's, of course, marketed as the happiest place on Earth, for rightful reasons, because I'm sure you and me have probably been to Disneyland at a certain point in both of our lives. But now, when I drove up to Disneyland to pick up these people, something instantly just didn't seem right off the bat. They just didn't seem all that happy. I didn't really know why. I asked them, how was your time at Disneyland? And they basically just said, okay, great, whatever. Maybe it was just them being tired, but to me, it just seemed like disappointment. Like, it just wasn't that fun. It wasn't exciting. So, it begged the question, to me, why does everything not feel exciting anymore? And I think this goes further than just a personal opinion. Why does it seem like when you grow up, things stop being exciting? When you are not an adult, before you grow up, you always have a high expectation of things, of everything around you, and rightfully so, because the world is a brand new place. And, of course, there's nothing but discoveries around every single corner. And every single aspect of the world is something new to discover. Even something as simple as video games. We could look at games that provided a sandbox or a creative outlet, or anything just to even have fun with. I just wanted to basically discover more things and play them with my friends and go out and experience more. But then it came to a point where it just wasn't entertaining anymore. Something about it didn't feel the same. And there seems to be a reason behind that. The feeling you get nowadays when you open up a game, it's no longer a feeling of instant joy or creativity or passion or excitement, but it's just a feeling of emptiness, boringness. What's the pointness? Maybe it has something to do with you on a personal level. Maybe it's just your problem, but what's the answer? I don't know if it's the same with me as it is with you, but you can take any video game that you may have loved as a child. Maybe it's a game that allows you to play on your own, single player. Maybe you could even open your own level or your own world, and just try doing that now. Maybe you're not even an adult. It doesn't really matter. Anything that you used to like doing, you used to like playing, and you can easily tell the difference. It's almost uncanny, the level of emptiness that it provides. Although there's nothing specific that's boring about it. Most games nowadays allow you to do basically anything you want, but yet still, you're left wondering, what's the point? Why bother being adventurous? Why bother being creative? And I don't think it's just a world view. I don't think it's necessarily a matter of being cynical or being optimistic. I think there's actually a more fundamental reason behind it. I feel like even this can be seen over long periods of time, just as a whole. Back before the pandemic took place, as an example, things seemed to be a whole lot more lighthearted. Everyone seemed to be willing to take place in fun, humorous type things and create these trends that we can get behind, or whether it just be a simple internet meme to be a serious actual thing that had like real support. It seemed to have all just come to a screeching halt after this point where the pandemic took place, and then everything just seemed a little bit more dismal. Even on YouTube, you have to fake excitement just in order to keep people's attention on the screen. And that's what would happen with this channel in particular. I would have to turn on the camera and just pretend to be very in your face and always in the mood to do something very interesting. Like I was really happy. 9 times out of 10, I actually just wasn't. And I just had to put on a fake facade. Because that's just the way it was done. And that's the way it still is done. All you see is just nothing but fake enthusiasm, fake excitement, fake happiness, and fake everything else. Because this is what works. I think one of the main culprits of all of this is school. And not school as in education, but school as in school. When you're born, up to the point where you go through the system of school, you are naturally a real person. You are alive. You always want to experience more, to explore, and to discover. But what school ends up doing is it teaches us to expect the least with the most amount put in. It teaches us that creativity or doing things out of the box is not efficient, and it's just better off for you to simply do what everyone else does, or better yet, do what you're told to do. And this is by no means supposed to be a political statement or something. Just think about it for yourself. You go through 12 years of your life being taught to basically spit out facts that you were told just to pass a few tests, just to end up going through another 4 to 8 years of your life doing the same thing. Except, afterwards, you'll be many tens if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, just to end up working with the job that you just may or may not be satisfied with for a good portion of the rest of your life, just to pay back. And then once you've done that for 40 years or so, right when you're old enough to just not be able to physically really do anything, you finally get the freedom. So, because everything is from the start molded to be like this, so that you end up in this place where nothing is exciting anymore, that's what creates this whole thing. That's what makes this happen. The days that you would wish that you could just do nothing but play games with your friends online and create something cool, or just have a good time, when you have the time now, you don't want to, because you'd rather be doing something that makes money, that pays the bills. But why? Once you first get your driver's license, to the first time having your own car, for the first time you fly in a plane and see everything from the closest to space you'll probably ever get, these excitements grow cold. It gets to the point that every time that you hop into your car in order to commute to your job every single day of the week, in order to pay the same bills, it just seems more as a task, instead of you having the ability to get into a vehicle and travel, experience the world, see it for yourself, being able to cross the country, circle the world in a plane, go to the places you could have never even dreamed of visiting as a kid, but yet just seeming more now as just a waste of time. What's the point? But that's exactly what works. We're not taught to be excited. We're taught to do what we're told, to put in the most effort, and expect the absolute least in return. That's why things like games become unfun. It becomes an alien sensation that differs from the unfun world that we become so used to. The sad thing about all of it is the fact that it's all just kind of rigged against you. It's literally all rigged from the start. We are born with the natural need to be excited, to be happy, and to explore. But we are instantly crafted and shaped into just a bland copy and pasted thing like everyone else. That's why when we take the time to try to play a game that we used to love, it's just boring. We'd rather just keep doing the same thing every day until you just die. And damn, that sounded a little depressing. But I'm not going to try to basically spit out some TED Talk or regurgitated motivational speech you'd see in some Tai Lopez advertisement, because I really don't want to raise your expectations. I, in all reality, as a whole, don't think there really is a way to solve it. Unfortunately, I just think that from the beginning, we are just overall fundamentally wired to end up like this. Just because it's what works the best in the world as a whole, but on a personal level, on a human level, it just isn't exciting. Like, not everything that works the best in the big picture needs to work the best in the small picture, unfortunately. And that's really just the main explanation, but basically, to summarize everything, we can still come out on top. We can still actually tap into that childhood enjoyment, that childhood excitement again. As long as we acknowledge it's still there. Like, it is still there. I don't have to scream in your face to yell at you to subscribe. I don't have to always be jump cutting and adding these ridiculous edits and crazy, colorful rainbow thumbnails in order to get your attention, in order to make you happy. It doesn't need to be like that. You still have it in you. No one needs to give it to you. So thanks for being there with me through this fiasco, and for putting up with my random speech about this topic. Hopefully you can actually learn from it, and maybe somehow tap into that happiness that we all still have. And I promise I'll try to come up with more uplifting stuff from this point on. But anyways, until the next time, be happy. My name is Dallas, aka Infurness, and I'll see you later.